What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In the previous video you guys saw, we lifted my brother's blue wagon. Now I am going to be working on his brown wagon today, and I'm going to be headed to the junkyard right now to pick a few parts, get in, get out type of deal. Today I packed my tool bag very light just so I don't have a reason to stick around in the junkyard in case I find like a motor or something. I don't have the tools for it. Road 33. Okay, these are a bunch of new cars. They are cleaning a couple rows over there, so new cars are coming in, but automatic, and they got the work cut out for me because today I am here for the booster. Not entirely sure what happened here. God dang, look at that. Somebody got hungry. Somebody must have wanted the distributor and didn't have the right tools. Holy cow. Already priced. But right now I'm gonna take off the brake master, 12 mil. Somebody must have just been bored, because look at the harness, look at the ground, everything is all cut. Even the booster nipple is crooked. Look at this. Too much time on their hand, like me. So I had to take off the clevis right here in order to get this to pass the firewall, and I was able to just turn the booster around and it kind of just came up like this. So got what I need. My brother also told me before I left the house to go look for a CRV for some parts, so that's what I'm gonna go do. Look for a second gen CRV. I've seen a couple here the other day when I was with Fred. So grab all my tools, let's go find that. So I paid 30 bucks, give or take, for the booster itself. It's 50 bucks with the master, but I didn't take the master because it was pretty beat up and it was missing the fluid reservoir. So right now I'm gonna go stop by my storage unit and pick up some, and then we'll head home and get working on my brother's car. I've watched this movie like a million times. I need to come back in here and finish cleaning this place up, but it looks a lot better, and I need you. So now that we are back home, let's go ahead and get started on the wagon with some brake cleaner. Okay, so you guys are wondering why I got a booster from the junkyard. One, it is 150 something for this at the parts store, and my local parts store where my accountant is at, they don't have one in stock. The reason why I took off the brake master is because I already have this brand new one that came off of Ricky's DB1 in 2020 when he wrecked his car and I threw his car away. So I kept this because I knew eventually I was going to need it. I am most definitely going to clean this up and give it a fresh coat of gloss black. Now this being rusted and peely with the paint is because the master previously that was on here was probably leaking, and then the brake fluid got on here and then destroyed the paint. So like I mentioned earlier, all of my brother's brake stuff has arrived except this one. This is for the KRX. This box right here is my head gasket for the KRX. I'm just gonna do the head gasket and, you know, just get that out of the way now instead of doing tests on tests on tests on tests to verify it's the head gasket. Everything that's been going on with the KRX leads to a head gasket. Everybody I've talked to said it was a head gasket, and I bought a OEM unit to change when I get back into town. This package right here is your eBay special. These are the front rotors for the EF. For the price, I decided to go with a drill slotted rotor. This was like I want to say it was like 75 bucks for the front pair, and I do have the same one on this car, right? So I figured, you know, let's just do the same for this car. Normally I go with the slotted rotors. Both of my cars have StopTech slotted rotors, but for the price, these will work perfectly fine as well too, and it saves a little bit on the cost. This one came in yesterday. These are the brake lines, and I hope the part number was correct. Because the car being drums, that means the brake lines for the rear are different, and by the looks of it, this seems to be the correct one. Typically for disc brakes front and rear, the caliper uses a banjo fitting on one end of the line right here, and it has this one on the opposite side. For drums, it's this fitting on both ends. So if you look, two right there, it goes around, and then there's two more right there. So these are for drums. Part number, this is a Goodrich brand, and part number here is 213. Says it right there, Civic CRX with rear drums, right? Now my brother wanted some braking power, which is the reason why I went with those, and the reason why I went with this, he wanted pads that would stop on a dime. I have Hawk HP Plus on the KRX and Hawk HP Plus on my Wagon. You're just gonna have to deal with a little bit of brake dust, which I don't mind. I'll take brake dust over a car not stopping. So Hawk HP Plus, part number. Enough with the talking, guys. Let's get this car on jack stands and start tearing into it. All right, so I got the brake booster painted up, and the sad thing was the freaking trash can collapsed and this thing went straight into the trash can. So this thing is pretty beat up, and I had this over here. It literally just folded and ba-bam and ba-boom, and I had to respray it again. Nonetheless, we have the booster painted up, no more paint flake, chips, rust, and metal exposed, and we have the master cleaned up. I did bench bleed it, although I did run out of freaking fluid. So now that I'm looking up here, everything seems to be pretty straightforward. I heard you like your extension on extensions. On extensions. I got 4 of the 12mm nuts out. I don't know why this one, the washer came off, but got 4 of the bolts out, got the pin off the brakes, and the booster should literally pop forward. I want to say with the DA booster and master, it's going to sit much more forward, so you're going to have to manipulate the hard line to reach its new home destination with the different combo. So right now I'm just taking off the brake lines. Golly, look at the difference on the two. Sheesh. Ginormous. The simplicity of booster swapping with the case swap. Oh boy. Voila. So the inside is secured. I can't put the feed line back on. I took it off for a little more clearance. Okay, if I just kind of push on it, I can get this to thread up. Major dilemma. I must have grabbed the wrong brake cylinder. I think I grabbed the EG one, which was supposed to be for Chris Darkside, the homie. That one does not fit the DA booster. If you look at the two right here, you can see the bolt pattern is in the same direction, right? Same angle. Where where the DA booster is the opposite. I'm gonna check online right now to see if they have a brake master for a DA in stock, and also need to pick up brake fluid anyways, and then we'll get back to this. But because I still have all my tools and everything out, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rotors, brake pads, and the stainless steel brake lines. I'm an idiot. I turned around to look at my CRX and I realized that I grabbed the wrong rotor. So they are directional. When you buy the front kit, they come with a left and right side. Houston, we have another problem. So the brake pad designs are different. I believe this is what was different on the RT opposed to the regular like DX and front wheel drive models. The caliper tabs are different. You can see this little one on the top opposed to this big flat one. The brake pads aren't seating, and honestly it's really not that far off, and I can modify this, which I think I'll probably do. The brake pads itself is the same, it's just the mounting point is different. The more you know. I don't even want to begin to talk about what I did to this brake pad to get it to work with the RT caliper. I looked at the website, the RT is not even an option on their list. So because I already got it, and because I can modify it, and I trust my process, we're gonna work with what we got. Yes, sir. All I gotta do now is lubricate the mating surfaces, piston, and these two to the pads, and we should be able to lock this up and do the other side. These rotors, this one is gone. Like, you can feel that little taper. If I had a little tech deck, I can probably grind this, but you know what I'm saying, like this is gone. So I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I know why. It doesn't drive the car, so there's really no need to replace them. So the rear brake line installed, a little short rubber line right there, stainless installed. I'll give you guys a better look. Somewhere there, right there. So yeah, we got the line on, and right now I'm gonna go ahead and run to the store, grab a brake master for a DA, and button up this brake job because I need a pack and I need to go to sleep because I have a long flight tomorrow. Again. Go ahead, close. Go ahead. Again. Again. Step on it. Okay, cool. Done. Thank you. Guys, we are done with my brother's brake upgrade. Me and my nephew just finished bleeding the system and the pedal feels really good. All four corners rotate without the brakes being depressed, and then I told my nephew to hold the brakes down. I went around with the pry bar and tried to turn the hub, and they are locked pretty good. There are instructions on the Hawk website on how to properly break in these brake pads. I'm probably gonna have to do that a different day. The car is gonna stay on jack stands because I still want to tinker with the exhaust system wherever it's rattling underneath the car, but we're not going to do it in this video. So it's going to stay floating right here until I get back from my trip, which I actually don't even know when I'll be back. I made an impulse decision to fly out tomorrow morning, and I only paid for a one-way ticket, so whenever I get back, we'll get back on this car. When I do get back to this car, aside from the exhaust, I am going to tackle the stuff in the engine bay. One important thing I need to do is figure out the cooling system routing for the upper hose, because this is in the way of the throttle body and the intake cannot sit there. It used to sit here, but it was compressing this hose really low and the car would overheat when it sits in traffic or sitting still. So I got to figure this out mainly, but we are going to try to situate this entire engine for the retune, the fuel line, the supercharger pulley, and the new belt, so on and so forth. Very simple upgrade. Junkyard booster from a DA. We got a brand new DA master. We didn't change the prop valve because we are still drums in the rear. In the front, we did the drill slotted rotors, Hawk HP Plus pads, stainless steel lines all around. The reason why we switched out the stainless steel line is because we don't want the old hose, granted it is 30-something years old, to pop, explode, tear, rip over time. I had that happen in my RT and my car wouldn't stop, but lucky I wasn't going that fast. So changing it out on my brother's car will help him with the braking power and the pedal feel. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around to see what we get into these next couple of days, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.